Hey guys, Anthony Jones here with Brigade Boats, and in this video we're going to do an in-depth walkthrough, a full tour of the custom Lowe Big Jon 1852 John boat to bass boat build that I did here. Let's take a look.
All right guys, here she is. Most recently completed project here at Brigade Boats. This is an 1852. As you can tell, just about everything possible has been done to this boat. And while I did do a majority of the custom fab work within this boat, I was merely a piece of the puzzle when it comes to companies involved in this project. It would not be possible without all of the companies involved. All of the lids within the boat were supplied by TBNation Outdoors. Don't forget to use that code BRIGADE at checkout to save 5% off your order. TBNation Outdoors Southeast, right here in the good old state of Georgia, came over and 3D scanned the entire interior of this boat so the custom turf could be routed. And then Sonar Pros in Dawsonville, Georgia went to work and did all of the graphs, battery installation, including the talons and the battery installs in the back.
Hey guys, the boys at 6th Fishing have done it again, dropping another bomb, the all-new BOOSA 6.5 Shakey Worm. The all-new BOOSA 6.5 has alternating rib flares with a super shaky ridge tail. The ribs not only create an incredible action, but help hold in that scent longer. Paired up with the 6-cent shaky heads, and you'll have yourself a winning combination. Available in plenty of juicy colors on the website, 6centsfishing.com. And don't forget to use that code BRIGADE at checkout to save 10% off your entire order.
My customer owns the company Angler Armor, which specializes in making these awesome boat wraps. And then PJ Wraps was involved on the installation of this boat wrap on this boat. Leading on to the boat's primary sponsor, ladies and gentlemen, Test Tackles. Available only at your finest retailers and tackle shops near you. All right, now that we got all the shout outs out of the way, all the plugs out of the way, let's get down to business, guys. Let's actually walk through this boat. When this boat showed up to me, it was actually already framed. My customer didn't know me at the time, and he had somebody else frame it. It wasn't bad, but it could have been better. It wasn't necessarily how I would have done it, and it wasn't the stock material that I would have used, but we made everything work. I did have to do some modification to the frame, and I basically had to frame in the whole tail section of the boat back here and around the cockpit, alter a lot of stuff, but we made it work. Everything is decked in 090 sheet aluminum on all the decking. Now on verticals, we used 060. So within the cockpit walls or any dividers within hatches, it's 060. And this boat has a lot of pour foam in it. There's a pour foam quadrant here and over there that actually holds the rod tubes in place because we do have dual rod lockers in this boat. Pour foamed all around the Livewell perimeter and then pour foamed all around the cooler. Let's take a look inside of these hatches. Just FYI guys, the customer already had taken this boat, he wrapped it, and then he's put it in the water. So he has been using this boat since I have gotten back to it to do this walkthrough video. So if you see any dust or debris, that is why. But here we have one rod locker that I did. As you can see, there's 8 rod tubes, full hydroturf interior, little custom rod holder, and basically rods go in. They go in here, and then on top, your top 3 rods sit. Strutted, the lids from TBNation Outdoors, powder coated black. Also have these Perco locking latches, and these are the saltwater rated. As you can see, we use those latches throughout the boat. Here is the Livewell. This one's got the Livewell on the front deck. Did something a little different on this one. Did a small access door. The Livewell actually feeds underneath all of this, as you can see. Much bigger than the door. We're using all the flow ride equipment. So you can see here your aerator pump out combo. Pull this out, pumps water out, push it in, pushes water in. It's got the valves on the back side, drain. That all feeds back to the back. I'll show you that a little bit later. And directly in front of the Livewell, did a very big hatch here. It is strutted, and we did these built-in tackle tray system. So he could hold, as of right now, up to 15 tackle boxes. You just see how that works. If you've never seen my stuff before, all the TBNation lids feature anti-flood tracks, so water obviously will not be absorbed into this Sea Dek. It will feed off down the routed edge into the track, feeds to the tube, goes down through the subfloor into a channel to the back of the boat, to the bilge, in case you're in a monsoon. Working our way forward, right here, getting tricky with it. As you can see, little honeycomb carbon fiber wrap action on it, and that seat base is inside of a lid. Of course, my customers can't make anything simple. Got the trolling motor tray inside of a lid there, also with a stacked graph tower on the lid. That's how my guys like to roll. And in here, just a nice storage compartment, as you can see. Again, everything nice aluminum, fresh paint, just really clean, how I like it. Up here, this lid originally had a strut, but due to the geometry of the trolling motor and him not wanting to offset two graphs to the side, the graph mount had to go on the lid, so therefore we had to remove the strut. Access to this hatch is limited, but it is very useful space because in here we have 3 powerhouse lithium batteries, and then back in the back we've got the Garmin computer, we've got a Noco Genius charger, and then you can see the drain coming from underneath. So if water gets in the tray, it actually drains out. So all the lithiums, and these are all for the trolling motor, which is 36 volt. So up front and in the back on the electronics end, I didn't do that install. Like I said earlier in the video, Sonar Pros did that install. My customer is good friends with the owner of Sonar Pros, Trent, and they do a phenomenal job there. They have a working relationship, so they did the install on the electronics. That would consist of the graphs, onboard chargers, transducers, any of the wiring harnesses or accessories to go with pretty much trolling motor graphs and batteries. They did all of that. I didn't have a part in it, but I could kind of tell you what I see. Of course, he's got the Ford and the Chevy, best of both worlds up front with graphs, stacking a Garmin and a Lowrance HDS, and those are the big boys. He's got all the goodies from Boat Logics and BBT. He's got the stack tower, and these are a lot of the accessories you're going to see like on Bass or MLF. A lot of the pros use the stuff that you're seeing in this boat. And then the 36 volt Ultrex on there. And again, phenomenal job. Sonar Pros are known for some of the best installs in the business. And then of course, when you really want to flex on them, you just pop this one, and you are parking lot pimping, my friends. And then inside the cockpit to the left, right here, you have a massive built-in cooler, custom fabricated. As you can see, it tapers to the angle on the back of the boat, and we're able to get a good 2 or 3 inches of foam behind it and actually around it. He likes to keep fish, so he could put fish in here, cold drinks, snacks, beverages, whatever he needs to do. I think that cooler is very sufficient. Opposite side of cockpit, a lot going on over here too, guys. He's got a Lowrance HDS with a Burley Pro sunshade on a BBT mount that's also mounted to a balls out, fully adjustable mount. Of course, he's got his 2 pucks for his GPS and nav, so Lowrance and Minn Kota. Again, the HDS. Inside of the cockpit, we have a custom switch panel that I made. He's got all of his switches. Forgot to mention, guys, every hatch within this boat has lights. So you see deck lights, cockpit lights, rod locker lights, cooler lights, and Livewell lights, hatch lights, co-angler mute. Everybody needs that. And of course, all the flow right controls for the Livewell, and then the pump in the back. He's got a shut off for all of his electronics, which is basically everything you see here. USB voltmeter. The cockpit also has 100% Sea Dek within it, all custom routed. Got your Noco plug there for plugging the battery that's in the back. Let's take a look at the back here in a second. Oh yeah, and a seat base. Out back, he's got 2 Minn Kota Talons. And these again were mounted by Sonar Pros. ePropulsion electric outboard. This is the new Evo. It's a 9.9 horsepower equivalent. It's the biggest electric outboard ePropulsion makes as of now, guys. He's going to be running 2 electric lakes with this boat, but he also has the option to put a gas outboard on here if he wants, because he's got plenty of space back there. As you can see, that massive 48 volt lithium battery by ePropulsion. You see the communication cable, all the ports on, off, and it is squeezed in there, guys. And how do we get it that tight? Well, we have measurements beforehand, and we built this compartment around this battery. There's the shut off. There's the Livewell stuff over here. Sonar Pros did their thing. Got a couple wiring harnesses, shut-offs, another powerhouse lithium, this time a bigger one for all the onboard electronics. Back to the flow right system, the quick lock and the pumps. Guys, the fill is through the back transom and it pumps it around to the live well up front, and then the drain hose actually drains out the bottom of the live well underneath the pour foam and the cooler back here to the back of the boat, 100% completely level to recirculate it. So definitely a level of difficulty was a little bit higher on this one, but we were able to get everything accomplished and get everything in here nice and tight. It really turned out pretty freaking awesome, man. I'm just like super grateful for this project. Also around the perimeter within the boat, as you can see across the way, those are flashlight LED strip lights lighting up the deck. Going all the way down, we got 2 sections of them. And then he's also got his rear pole light here. And then he's got his little shark eye nav lights up front. And then again, the fish scales wrap. This is actually a 2-part. So they did the base in a pearl white, if you could see that pearl kind of glimmering through. So everything was wrapped in white first, and then he went back over with a clear wrap that actually had all these scales and the logos printed on it. So the boat was actually wrapped twice, more or less. Pretty cool. All in all, there was a ton of work that went into this. Again, a lot of companies involved, so thank you to all that was involved in this project. Thank you to Carrie for trusting me with this project and allowing me to do the work that I did on it. Not only has he been a awesome customer, but now he is a good friend of mine. Really appreciate the support, Carrie. And guys, there's so much detail in this boat and so much work that I've probably skipped over a ton of stuff. I just wanted to give you a quick rundown of this project before the sun sets over the horizon. But if you want all the nitty-gritty full details, I suggest watching the build video on this boat, because it's going to show everything that was done from start to finish. Again, thanks to all those involved, and we will catch you on the next one.